Okay, today class about structures, functions, pointers. Okay, on that example using a operator. Which operator this one? This is a dereferencing operator, and we can call this one arrow mark. Okay, when we are using this one for pointers purpose, we are using this operator. Okay, and next you can see here creating header file and file re-inclusion issue. Okay, you can see it is a normal practice to separate structure, functions, constants, and what are the macros or their macros types and similar definitions and declarations in a separate header files. Okay, and then those definitions can be included in main function using the include directive. Okay, you can see here hash include is there. Okay, that is called preprocessor directive. That is called preprocessor directive. There are different types of preprocessor directives are there. When we are using a hash include, okay, then after less than and greater than symbols, between those two symbols you can mention okay stdio.h, conio.h, mat.h, string.h. There are different types of header files are there. Those header files you can mention between those two okay less than and greater than symbols. Okay, next there when you can insert that header file between those two braces. Okay, then your program connect with your library, your program connect with our C library. Okay, when you install a application software, that application software is what any type of application software, but now we are using C programming. That's why we install turbo C or borland C softwares, and on that so when you can install that software, then automatically the library is loaded inside. Okay, like that when you can install a system software, then automatically what are the browsers are there, those browsers are automatically loaded inside that system software. Okay, next here also okay when you use hash include. Okay, hash include what that is a what directive, include a directive. Okay, that directive okay your program is there, your code is there, that code you can write down in editor. Okay, after that code you can save with the .c extension. Okay, then after only you can compile run your program and compile your program. Any errors are there, those errors you can see on screen of that monitor and you can rectify. Okay, on that error you can check lines and which line that error is there. Okay, that line shows on that monitor. Then you go back and you can check those rectify those errors, and then after you can execute again, execute your program. Okay, next it is for reusability and packaging and to be shared between several source files. You can see here what is the code is there, that code you can reuse, that code you can reuse. And packaging what is the package is there, that package you can see 2.0 version package is there, 3.1 like that. There are different types of packages are there, and to be shared between several source files. Okay, next include files are also useful for what is that one, incorporating declarations of external variables and complex data types. Complex data types nothing but okay those we can't use. What are the data types are there, integer, character, and floating point. Okay, there okay you can use integer purpose only rounded values, and floating point purpose fractional values you can use. Okay, but you can mention their character and you can enter their integer value, then that is a complex data type. Okay, there you can see external values not a variable nothing but okay those variables declared before main function, those variables declared before main function, those variables are called external variables. Okay, those external variable or values are there, or external variable is there, those we can use anywhere in our program, anywhere in our program. Okay, next you need to define and name the types only once in an include file created for that purpose. Okay, the hash include directive tells the preprocessor to treat the content of the specified file as if those contents had appeared in the source program at the point where the directive appears. Okay, you listen. Okay, what hash include is there and hash define is there. Define nothing but we can define a variable. Hash include nothing but we can include what is our code is there, that code link up with our library. That purpose we are using hash include directive. Okay, next. You can see here. Okay, next the syntax is one of the following you can see here. Okay, when the c is found, okay, that time, all the time, okay, they are using only Unix operating system. Okay, that what is the C compiler is there, those days C compiler, that C compiler only supported for Unix operating system. Okay, nowadays any operating system, what is that one, Unix, Red Hat, next now Windows. Okay, there are different types of operating systems. Are there? Those operating systems supported compilers available in market nowadays. Okay, next the syntax for that directive you can see here hash include path specifier. You can mention here path. Okay, you can mention here path. That path. Okay, enclosed with the double quotation mark or enclosed with less than and greater than symbols. Between those two symbols only you can mention that path specified. Okay, both syntax forms causes replacement of the directive by the entire content of the specified include files. The difference between two forms is the order in which the preprocessor search for header files when the path is incompletely specified. Okay, you can see here. Okay, when you can't mention here these two double quotation marks or these two less than and greater than, okay, those are incompletely specified header files. When you can mention these two and before that include keyword and include keyword before you mention as symbol, then only that is a perfect preprocessor directive. Okay, next preprocessor searches for headers files when the path is incompletely specified. When the path is incompletely specified. Okay, next you can see here. Okay, syntax form and action you can see. Quoted form. Quoted form nothing but, okay, this form instructs the preprocessor to look for include files in the same directory of the file, okay, that contains the hash include statement, and then in the directory of any file that include hash include that file. Okay, the preprocessor then searches along the path specified by the compiler option. Okay, then along a path specified by the include environment variable you can see the msvc++ is there, that is a compiler option. Okay, next angular brackets nothing but those are less than and greater than are called angular brackets. Okay, this forms instruct the preprocessor to search for include files first along the path specified by the compiler option msvc++. Then, when compiling from the command line along the path specified by the include environment variable. Okay, here both are same. Both quotations, both syntaxes and both the syntax actions are same. Okay, there was no difference. There was no difference. Okay, finally we can got the result by using these two forms. Okay, and next you can see the preprocessor stops searching. The preprocessor stops searching as soon as it finds a file. As soon as it finds a file with the given name. With the given name. If you specify a complete unambiguous for specification for the include the between double quotation marks, the preprocessor searches only that path specification and ignores the standard directories. You can see here what are the information or what is the information included, okay, between these two double quotation mark. Okay, that information searches a preprocessor only. Okay, that path specification and I ignore the standard directory. What are the standard directory are there, those all are ignored by the compiler. Only what is the path is there between those double quotation mark or angular brackets. Okay, those are searching. Okay, next. Here you can see step firstly add new header file to the existing project. You can see here. Okay, you can go there and what is that one exercise 5 Microsoft Visual Studio is there. On that Microsoft Visual Studio, you can see. Okay, here add is there, add option is there. On that add option new item is there. Just you can open that. First you can install what a Microsoft Visual Studio, then after you can go to this button add, and then after you can go to new item. Okay, and you can see here when new item is there, add new item exercise, you can see that. Okay, usual C++ code is there. On that code you can see right side of that header file dot h, header file dot h is there, my header file is there. Okay, and you can just click on add. Okay, and next we add the structure and function definitions to the header file. Okay, it is a normal situation where one header file includes another. It is a normal situation where one header file includes another. It can easily result that a certain header file is included more than once. Okay, this may lead to error. This may lead to error if the header file defines structure types or type definitions and is certainly wasteful. Okay, therefore we often need to prevent multiple inclusions of a header file. Multiple inclusions of a header file by using a okay hash. Okay, if define file name extension, hash define file name extension, and end if any statements are there, those statements you can write down. Okay, after that okay, and you can close those. Okay, ma. Next here you can see the macro. The macro here, file name extension, okay, indicates that the file has been included once already. Okay, its name should begin with a underscore to avoid conflicts with user programs, and it should contain the name of the file and some additional text to avoid conflicts with other header files also. Okay, in our example, the hash if end if statement should be okay, hash if end if okay, my header file okay underscore h and declaration and definitions go here you can see end if okay, my header file underscore h. Okay, and here you can see steps to our header file and my header file.h content should be something like follow. You can see here hash def my header file underscore h hash define my header file underscore h declare a structure with three members. Okay, struct a inventory. Okay, struct inventory is a tag of that structure and opening curly braces. Int is a data type, a part number. Okay, and part number float F by cost and float F selling price. Okay, these are there and closing there. Okay, next void read part. Okay, struct inventory. Okay, there stitch p part ptr, and here void print part struct inventory. Okay, stitch p part ptr. Okay, you can see here int n part number, float f by cost, and float f selling price. Okay, and here next we create the implementation file for the functions. Okay, add my header file.c file to the existing project. To the existing project. Okay, next there you can see code and C++ file. Okay, you want C++, then you go to C++, and you want C, then you go to C. Okay, those header files are there. And here you can see step add. Okay, there cut and paste from main source file the function implementation part to the file my header file dot c in text. Okay. Next step, now our main function source file only contain the following code main in text, main function in text. Okay. Next, add cut and paste from source file the function implementation part to the file. Okay. Next, our main function is there. Our main function source file only contains the following codes. Okay, that is main in text. Okay, and next you can see here, okay, that code just we can copy and paste here. Okay, that code we can copy and paste here. You can see there my header file hash include stdio.h. Next, hash include my header file.h. Next, void main on that void. Okay, struct inventory items. Struct inventory items. Struct is a keyword. Inventory is what that is a tag of that structure, and item is a variable assigned to that. Okay. Next, here you can see printf part inventory data. Okay. Next, read part ampersand items are there. Okay. Next, print part ampersand items there. Okay, now. And next, you can see. Okay. Next, you can see step rebuild and rerun the project. Okay, there the output should be the same. You can see their part number 4356, buying cost, selling cost, retail price. Okay, and part number 4356 and buying cost is 35.55 and retail price is 40.99 plus any key to continue. Okay, and next you can see here and hash import. Okay, and hash program ones. Okay, you can see here there are two more ways of indicating that a header file should be read only once. Should be read only once. Okay, the above two, hash import and a hash program once. Okay, there are two more ways of indicating that a header file okay should be read only once. Okay, neither one is as portable as a wrapper. Okay, hash if and if. Again, Objective C language, there is a variant of hash include called hash import. Okay, which includes a file but does so at most once. Okay, if you use a hash import instead of a hash include, then you don't need the conditional inside the header file to prevent multiple inclusions of the contents. Okay, next, however, it is not in standard C or C++, and should therefore not be used for program portability. Okay, hash import is not a well-designed feature, and it requires the users of a header file to know that it should only be included once. Okay. Next, you can see here there are what is that one? There are two more ways of indicating that the header file should be read only once. Okay, should read only once purpose. We are using these two. What are those? Okay, import. Okay, next and hash program once. Okay, there are two more ways of indicating that a header file okay should be read only once. Okay, neither one is a portable as a wrapper. Okay, hash if and if. And in Objective C language, okay, there is a variant of hash include called hash import. Hash include called hash import. Okay, which includes a file but does so at most once. Okay. Next, if you use a hash import instead of a hash include, then you don't need two conditionals inside the header file to prevent multiple inclusions of the contents. Okay, however, it is not in standard C or C++ and should therefore not be used for program portability. Okay, next, hash import, okay, is not a well designed feature. Okay, it requires it requires the users of a header file to know that it should only by include once. Okay, and next you can see it is much better. It is much better for the header files. Okay, implementers to write the file. Okay, so that users don't need to know it. Okay, what is that? Okay, it is much better. It is much better for the header files. Okay, files implementer. It is better for implementer to write the file. Okay, so that users don't need to know it. Users don't need to know this. Okay, using a proper hash if and if accomplishes this goal. Okay, that accomplishes this goal. Another way to prevent a header file. Another way to prevent a header file from being included more than once is with the what is that one hash pragma wants a directive. Hash pragma wants a directive. If hash pragma once is seen, hash pragma once is seen when scanning a when scanning a header file. When scanning a header file, okay, that file will never be read again. That file never be read again. Okay, no matter that what. Okay, hash pragma once does not have the problem, okay, that hash import does. Okay, next, but it is not recognized by all preprocessor. It is not recognized by all preprocessor, so you cannot rely on it in program portability. Okay, more real implementations of the source code packaging and organizations can found at reactor C and C++ source code. You can browse the left menu, and Linux online source code also you can search for. You can search that one also. Okay, you can see here it is most. It is much. Okay, it is much better. It is much better. Okay, for the header files. Okay, and implementers. Okay, to write the files so that users don't need to know this. Okay, here using a wrapper hash if and if accomplishes the goal. Another way to prevent a header file, okay, from being included, okay, more than once is with the what is that one hash okay, pragma once directive. If hash pragma once is seen when scanning a header file, okay, that file will never be read again. Okay, no matter that hash pragma once does not have the problem. Okay, that hash import does. Okay, but it is not recognized by all preprocessor. Okay, so you cannot rely on it in program portability. Okay, more real implementation of the source code packaging and organizations can found it. Okay, Reactor C and C++ source codes. Okay, next Linux online source code. Okay, these all are. Next here, type def. Type def nothing but type def declaration do not introduce new type. Okay, but introduces new name. Okay, this one not introduce new type, but introduces new name or creating synonyms. Okay, for existing types. What are the existing types? Or the those existing types synonyms we can create by using a type def. Okay, to construct a shorter or more meaningful names. To construct shorter or more meaningful names for types already defined by the language. Already defined by the language, or for types, or for types that you have declared, or for types that you have declared. Okay, a type def declaration does not reserve storage. A type def declaration, okay, does not reserve a storage. Okay, the namespace for a type def name is the same as other ordinary identifier. Is same as the other ordinary identifiers. Okay, therefore a program can have a type def name. A program can have a type def name. Okay, and a local scope identifier by the same name, and a local scope identifier by the same name. Okay, the exception to this rule is if the type def name specifies a variable. What is that one? A variably modified type. In this case, okay, it has block scope. Okay, it has block scope. Okay, the syntax is, you can see here, type def, type declaration, and the synonym, and the synonym type def, type declaration, okay, and the synonym. Okay, these three, this is the syntax for what is that one? Type def. Type def word, that is not an introduce new type, only what are the existing types are there, those, and introduces a new name only, but introduces new name only. Okay, and to construct shorter or more meaningful names, to construct shorter or more meaningful names for the types already defined by the language, okay, or for types that you have declared. At type def declaration does not reserve storage. Okay, the namespace for a type def name is the same as other ordinary identifier. Therefore, a program a program can have a type def name, okay, and a local scope identifier by the same name. Okay, the exception to this rule is if the type def name specifies a variably modified type. In this case, it has block scope. In this case, it has block scope. The syntax is type def, space type declaration, space the synonym. Okay, we cannot use the type def specifier. We cannot use the type def specifier. Okay, we cannot use the type def specifier inside a function definition. Okay, when declaring a local scope identifier by the same name as a type def. Okay, or when declaring a member of a structure, when declaring a member of a structure or union in the same scope, okay, or in an inner scope. Okay, the type specifier must be specified. Okay, you cannot use the type def specifier inside a function definition when declaring a local scope identifier by the same name as a type def, or when declaring a member of a structure or union in the same scope or in an inner scope. Okay, the type specifier must be specified. Okay, for example, type def, okay, space float space test type. Okay, int main. Okay, main in within the bracket void is there. Opening curly braces and closing curly braces. Then after int my function. Okay, int next opening curly braces and closing there. Enter test type. Enter test type. Okay. Same name with the type def, comma, it is okay. Same name with the type def, comma, it is okay. Okay. Next here, type def space float, test the type. Okay. Int main of void. Okay. Int my function. Okay. My function int there. Okay. Int test type is there. Okay. Next, you cannot use the type def specifier inside a function definition when declaring a local scope identifier. Okay, by the same name as a type def, or okay, when you declaring a member of a structure or union in the same scope or in an inner scope. Okay, the type specifier must be specified. Okay, the syntax for that type def, okay, next here float, and test type. Okay, what is the syntax for that? Okay, type def, type declaration, and the synonym. Okay, here you can see this is declaration data type, and this is that synonym, int main of void. Okay, opening and closing braces. Function scope, that is local. Int my function, int okay, int test type. This test type is there. Okay, same name with type def. It is okay. And here you can see, okay, structure, type definition. There you can see when declaring a local scope identifier by the same name as a type def, or when declaring a member of a structure or union in the same scope or an inner scope, the type specifier must be specified. The type specifier must be specified. Okay. Next, there you can see type def, float, and the type def there. Okay, both declarations are different. Both declarations are different. You can see here type def, float, test type. Next, constant type def. Okay, next R. R is the objective of that. R is the objective of that to use the test type name, okay, for a for an identifier, a struct member or a union member. Okay, the type must be provided. For example, you can see constant int test, constant int test type. Okay, to reuse the test type name, to reuse the test type name for an identifier, a structure member or a union member, the type must be provided. For example, you can see here constant int test type. And above, when declaring a local scope identifier, okay, by the same name as the type def, okay, or when declaring a member of a structure or union in the same scope or in an inner scope, okay, the type specifier must be specified. You can see here, okay, both declarations are different, above one and below one. Okay, type def space float data type, and that type def name is what, test type. Okay, here constant test type assigned with one variable or assigned with one object, you can call that or. Okay, the to reuse the test type name for an identifier. Okay, a structure member or a union member. Okay, the type must be provided. For example, you can see constant okay, int and type def. Constant int, okay, you can declare that one in this way or in this way. Okay, here constant test type, here constant int test type. Okay, and type def names share the same space with ordinary identifiers. Okay, therefore, a program can have a type def name and a local scope identifier by the same name. By the same name. Okay, and here you can see a type def specifier, type def space character, and flag type. Next, void main. Okay, within the bracket void curly braces open and closing, void my proc. Okay, inside int and int flogged. Next, you can see here, what is that? The following programs illustrate the other type def declarations. Example, you can see here, type def space character, that is a char is a variable name, that is name specifier, and a type def character asterisk the store. Okay, next, a pointer to a string, pointer to string, this one character type using capital letters, and here the use it then use it as function parameter also. Okay, the star str star chr character. Okay, the str is there. Okay, that is source, and character is destination. Here source file is there, here destination is there, any information is there, these are copied into and paste in here destination. And type def unsigned int unit nothing but u int nothing but equivalent to unsigned int, equivalent to unsigned int, that is u int nothing but ui, that is u int nothing but ui. Okay, and here you can see to use type def to specify fundamentals and derived types. To use a type def to specify fundamentals and derived types. Okay, in the same declaration, okay, you can separate declarators, you can separate declarators with a comma. Okay, for example, you can see type def char, okay, and capital CHR, and store the store. Okay, the str. Okay, the following example provides the type function. Okay, for a function returning no value and taking two int arguments, that purpose type def space void space function of int comma int. Okay, after the above type def statement, okay, the following is a valid declaration. Okay, you can see here funct function space test and equivalent to the following declaration. Okay, their void test of int comma int, void test of int comma int, and type def void function of int comma int. Okay, to use type def to specify fundamentals and derived types in the same declaration. Okay, you can separate declarators, okay, with comma. Okay, for example, you can see type def space small char space capital char, okay, comma star the star the str. The following example provides the type function, okay, for a function returning no value and taking two int arguments. Those you can see type def, okay, void function int comma int. After the above type def statement, the following is a valid declaration. Okay. Next here, names for structure types are often defined with the type def to create shorter and simpler, okay, type names. For example, the following statement is there: type def space struct space chord space my chord, and type def space unsigned space short space u short. Okay, defines the new type name, okay, my code as a synonym for type struct code, and u short as a synonym for type unsigned short. Next, programmers usually use type def to define a structure, type def to define a structure. Okay, type so a structure tag is not required. Okay, for example, the following definition you can see here. Here type def struct, here no tag. We can't use here tag. Okay, then after character, okay, that is face, and next character shoot, next closing braces, then after my code is this is a tag. Okay, that tag is followed by semicolon, that tag is followed by semicolon. Okay, and next here creates the structure type my code, okay, without the need for separate type def statement. Okay, there we can't use any separate type def statements. Okay, then my code can be used to declare, okay, then my code can be used to declare variables of type struct next code, and look more natural as normal variable, look more natural as a normal variable. For example, the following declaration: my chord deck 50, okay, declares an array of 50 my chords, declares an array of 50 chords. Array nothing but what group of elements are there, those all elements are same data type or homogeneous elements are called okay, arrays. Okay, next type def similar creates a new type name which may be used as an license for an existing type name. Nothing but a synonyms of that name. Okay, those are there. Okay, and next you can see often, okay, type def is used to create synonyms for the basic data type. Type def is used to create synonyms for the basic data type. For example, a program requiring 4-byte integers, okay, may use type int on one system and type long on another system. Okay, 4-byte integer may use type int on one system and type long on another system. Programmers designed for portability of an user type def to create an synonyms for 4 bits integer, such as let's say integer. Okay, then what is that one synonym? Integer can be changed once in the program to make the program work on both systems. Okay, next Microsoft uses this extensively in defining new type name for Windows 32 and Windows programming. Okay, and here you can see the basic use of type def program example you can see there. Okay, an integer, okay, a character t and a double 1.24 and press any key to answer. And another type you can see there. Okay, st test variable one, okay, that is triple one. Next test variable number y, okay, that is 1.1110. Okay, next and characters are there. Okay, that is the uh, example for that. And here you can see all the structure programs examples in the previous structure section. Okay, can be simplified using type def dot. Okay, type def. For example, you can see struct. Here this one is the tag name and int n port number and float f by cost and float f selling price and closing braces followed by semicolons. Okay, can be type def and you can see type abstract. Okay, here that is tag and int n port number, float f by cost and float f selling price and closing braces abc inventory. Okay, next this is today class. Okay, today class is over. Okay,